Free.
Yeah, this is Jenna Smith with Korrupted Promotions, and you are tuned in to GFG TV.
So, kicking back into it, so we got to learn about a lot. You dropped a whole bunch of bombshells on us. You went through quite a childhood. It was interesting, and you are very well spoken. You may have stated that you've been through whatever you've been through, but you are very eloquent and well spoken, and you seem very educated. You don't come off as that you don't have some sort of high school education or something along those lines.
Appreciate that.
You don't. You speak very.
I'll
you
be
speak
lying
great.
to everybody. GED.
There you go. There you go. Whatever works. But we appreciate you, sharing your childhood with us. We kind of wanted to dive through some more of the, I guess we'd be in like the 20s now, right? We were growing up a little bit. We've been through your teen years and everything. Can you tell us about how the writing and everything maybe evolved? Did you start promoting soon after that, or how did that happen?
That's my greatest story, I think. No, I didn't. I stopped writing after I started running away and stuff. Like, that was a passion. It was just like I was on survival mode after that, so it totally took a back seat. But through my 20s, I was in a relationship for 8 years where I raised 3 boys of his with him for a long time. It was really abusive and toxic. And then he was in an accident, bedridden for 2 years. I took care of him. We won $100,000. He threw me out, of course, money. Gonna choose that so we can party. And after that, I was homeless, and I was literally living on people's couches again until I got into Section 8 apartment, and I had a laptop and basically a couch and a kitchen table and a garbage bag of clothes, and I saw that the Powerhouse tour was coming through Omaha, the N9ne Powerhouse tour, and I saw that there was like nobody responding to it. I'm a big N9ne fan. I grew up being a big N9ne fan. I should have mentioned that earlier. But there was no really response to it, and I thought that's kind of weird. This is N9ne's biggest tour in years because he had so many artists. Like, it was going to be the biggest tour he'd done in a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, it was Mayday, Cess Crew, Stevie Stone, Ritz, Chris Calico. I mean, it was all the hitters, So I just thought it was weird, and I was like, something in me, because I grew up not in school, and I grew up on music, and I grew up with such a passion for music, was like, do something about it. So I created my own event and was like, yo, the N9ne tour is coming. And I invited just everybody. And I got 200 people to respond to it, right? So I didn't know at the time that Strange Music actually had legit street teams that promote the shows and they do their thing. And the street teams are real legit. You get a certain amount of material for your market. You have a certain amount of numbers you got to hit for your campaigns to promote, to be able to stay a street team. There's logistics in it, and it's pretty crazy actually. Yeah. But I didn't know all that, so I did everything my own way, just sending out invites. And so I go to the show, and this dude hits me up, and he's like, yo, you realize that I'm the lead of the Omaha Strange Street Team, right? And he's like, y'all, you're kind of stepping on our toes with creating this event out of pocket, you know what I mean? Because we just did all this promoting for it that we're supposed to do, and you're making us basically look bad. I was gonna say it, but I did a podcast with Houston Alexander one time, and he said that, so I'm gonna say it. I made it look bad, and so I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I just wanted the fans to come out, whatever. I don't know what y'all do, and I showed up at the show, and sure enough, the whole front line of the people waiting to get in Sokol was all street team members, and they all had their street team shirts, and they all had their badges, and I was like, oh damn, this is a real thing. So I walk up there, and the dude meets me and everything, and he's like, yeah, it's cool that you wanted to help, but, go about it the right way. And so I was like, well, what's that way? And he told me, get a hold of somebody at Strange and put in an application, And I was just like, yeah, okay. You tell somebody that, you're like, sure, yeah, I'll talk to N9ne. Yeah. And so I didn't really take it to heart. We went into the show, ended up meeting with Gotti. He got off stage, basically was like, let's go. So we all went, and I got on the bus with him and Ritz and UB, and we were all kicking it and stuff, and I just asked him, I said, how do I get a job with Strange Music? And he said, I think you got to talk to Taylor. So I looked up Taylor, I did my digging, looked her up, got a hold of her, emailed her, and she called me while I was at work. I remember it said Strange Music on my phone, and I was like, I got to take this, So I went outside, and I took the phone call, and she said, we'd actually love a team in Iowa, but she did tell me about Des Moines. Steve Wilson is the lead of the Des Moines Street Team. And she said Steve's team, as far as I know, is full. So she said you can't join it, but we would like other teams. So she said, would you like to lead one? So not only was I asked to join a team, but she was like, "Do you want to be a leader?" Of course, of course. So she said, "You can choose Waterloo or Cedar Rapids. What are you closest to?" And I lived in Boone at the time, but I did not want to lose that opportunity. So I lied, and I was like, Cedar Rapids. So she gave me Cedar Rapids, and I built a team from Boone, and I ran them from Boone. Like, I was like, here's the material, this is what you gotta do, this is the number of posters you gotta put up, because, they send you cards like this, they send you flyers like this, and then they send you the big flyers. And you gotta, for your market, they'll tell you how much you have to have, how much out. And then you have to take physical picture proof, put it in your folder, upload it. That's where they count your stuff. It's all, And they were doing great at first. And then it was excuses. I got a flat tire. My girlfriend's got a cold. My dog's foot's hurt. It was and I was like, I can't have excuses. I have to have numbers or I'm going to lose this team. So I went through actually 3 leads before I got a phone call from Josh from Tragedy at Strange Music. And he was like, what is up with your numbers? And I was just like, dude, I'm not going to lie anymore. I was like, right now I'm living in Ames because I went from Boone to Ames. And I said, I'm not even in those towns. I've never, I'm not doing none of that. Like, I said, if this promo was in my hands, I'm telling you right now, I was like, I'd be above that 100%. And I said, I believe that the Ames market is a great market. It's a college town, And I said, so just give me this opportunity to, work from here. And he said, okay, let me talk to Travis. I got a phone call 2 days later that it was okayed, and I blew that market up. Like, I was hitting like 120 to 150% every campaign with every album. And so it was doing well. I know the numbers of the albums sold are the Best Buy in my market was doing incredible. And then I got invited down to Summit by Travis and Tech, did all the stuff down there for like 3 days. We did classes on switching to digital. And that's when Travis kind of decided, let's be done with the street teams. Like, with digital stuff, you don't need teams out putting flyers up and stuff, So that's when I was like, well, I don't want to be done. Like, at that point, because I had worked with Strange Music, I have all these artists that are coming to me and to my inbox that are like, well, can you listen to this? Do you know who to book me here? And I'm like, well, no, but I can probably figure it out, So, I'd actually, when we went down to Summit, I booked Scar because Strange Music had put on a Recognized show. And they were going to have all of us leads go watch the Recognized show, and then the next night we were all going to go watch the
For those that don't know, who's Scar?
Scar the Monsterr. He's probably one of the first artists I ever worked with. He's like a brother to me. He's somebody that I pushed so hard. We've done a lot of dope things together. He's from Kansas City, so look him up. But it was Scar, and I really wanted to push him, and I was doing like I said, I was doing the whole street team thing. Like, they were coming to me, and I knew, like, at the time they'd had the Recognized show, the Joey Cool show that I was talking about, and I got a hold of Rec personally myself. Like, I skipped over everybody and just was like, can I put Scar on tonight? Because then all my leads can see him. Like, not my leads, but Travis's leads can see him, my fellow leads, and then they might want to book him. And then, and so that spread like wildfire. Scar performed that night, I think, at the Riot Room. Don't quote me on that. But, and all the leads fell in love with him. He built relationships. They loved his music. So then, he was, gaining fans everywhere, gaining momentum. So that really lit a fire in me. After that, I know that Travis was kind of upset. I think that I was doing my side promoting while I was down there for like a Strange Music Summit, because when we were all done with the summit, like, I went over with Scar and Berna and Joey Cool and was with them and was like discussing doing different music stuff with them than I was supposed to be doing with the Strange Music. But that's kind of when I was like, then I'll just be done. So at the same time that Strange Music was decided to be done with their street teams, I was done too. I was like, I want to do my own thing without stepping on toes or getting told I can't do, what I want to do. So that was the big transition. And then I just started booking Scar, and I threw my first show in Ames, and we did the Korrupted New Year's show. And I had Lyrical and Random Tanner, A. Taylor, Peasy, and Tone, I think, on that show. And
what year was that?
And Scar. That was my first show. Was 2018, I believe, January 2018. And then after that, I didn't expect to get the traction, I guess, that I got. I don't know if it was because I was a female and people thought that a lot of males won't listen to other males. You know what I mean? They don't have like that, like I said, they don't have the nurturing, like, I'll listen to you, I'll give you the time of day. Like, men like to butt heads a lot and look at each other as competition. So it's like when they're trying to come to each other for help, like on plugs, they're gonna put that little wall up. Whereas like females be like, whatever, you know, like, let's get this done. Like, what do you know? I feel that way. I feel like with experience that guys just feel like, let's check this out first with her and see what she's got going on, you know, instead of just trying to rile up things over here. I don't know, but
Might be something to that.
yeah, like I had a lot of people come to me and just genuinely want help and not want, you know, anything involved with like drama or. So I started booking. I just started looking at venues and gaining a team, and I picked all the people that I thought were super solid in their states that I thought needed to be seen, and putting them on stage, and then I don't know, it just kind of went from there. Like it kind of took off on its own.
So when you booked the show in Ames with Random Tanner and A-Dot and them, do you have a company at that time? Do you have a name for a company, or are you just booking under your name?
I did. We before I even did the show, I knew that we have to have something. Like, you know, we have to have something. And so that's when I sat up all night thinking of a name before we even did the flyer. And that's when I decided to do Korrupted Promotions. And I spelled it with a K because my son's KP. So I wanted it to be KP like my son. So right after that, yeah, we got the flyer printed off, and then I spent another 24 hours making sure that I created my logo, you know, because I just wanted to have all my stuff mine right now, you know. So I did that, and then I sent my version off to, I believe, Lyrical, and Lyrical redid my logo for me professionally, and you know, so from there I was just like, I guess we're doing this, you know, we'll figure out where to go from here. And I just gained like a huge family in music, all these artists that I was adding and listening to their music, and you know, it kind of took off from there. Plus that added with the Strange Music Street teams combined, it's enormous. Like, I really can't go anywhere and not know a group of people that I can do something with music-wise, or I can plug people to. And that's my greatest thing in this is all the plugs that I can't even count them all. If I was to sit down and write, like, I've connected this person with this, it's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably my greatest accomplishment, is all the connections I've made for people.
Man.
And the album, like, Lincoln Lyrical, I did Lyrical and Stevie Stone, sent him down to Strange Music so that he could do some stuff with them. Like, that was really cool. I had Dolo, Free Dolo. I had Dolo open up for Busy Bone in Kansas City, and they gave him an encore. And so that was a very cool moment, you know, and the whole crowd for Busy Bone chanting for Dolo to come back out. Like, that was a big moment for him because he gained a ton of fans that night. So it's like, but yeah, just like, you know, even Omaha artists, when I do a lot of work in Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I've connected Omaha artists with Omaha artists that had never worked together. So it's like, you just need that person that's like, yo, you sound good and you sound good. Like, I think y'all would sound good together. I have the ear for people who I think would click well together. So,
wow. We just uncovered a lot right there. Okay. Let's go back to the summit, the Strange Music Summit. What was it like? First of all, what is your relationship with N9ne? What is the first time you met N9ne, and what was that like? Talk about that. And how did that relationship grow?
The first time I met N9ne, I believe, was at the Planet Tour. That happened when I was asked to promote the Planet Tour with Steve. We both split the promo that we got, and we both split the VIP stuff and everything, and so that was cool to work on that because that was Steve's city, but I was asked to join it. So that was at Seven Flags, so it was huge. I was excited. I was like, we can, you know. And N9ne, I know that he already knew about me because he's talked to Scar about me. Him and Scar are tight.
Absolutely.
So they've discussed me before. So like meeting him, I was like, I know he knows who I am, but like, I don't know. That was kind of a cool feeling of like, but to meet N9ne in person, it felt like a dream. It felt like he was a wax figure. Like, I just kind of stood there for him. Like, he was like, well, come here. Like, I just was like, oh man, that's pretty N9ne. Like, so it was really cool to meet him. But I don't honestly work closely with Tech personally. Yeah. Like, there's no I can't message Tech and be like, yo, so check this guy out. Like, you know what I mean?
You don't got his number in your phone type shit?
No.
Okay.
So like with him, he knows of me, obviously I know of him, and we have the same mutual friends that like he'll invite over like for Thanksgiving dinners and stuff and shit. So it's like they discuss things like he's talked to Scar about Korrupted and stuff like that. So that's been cool. It's just for him to even know who I am and what I do is like that's a blessing in its own. So
are you tapped in enough to where you can hit him on IG Messenger and he'll hit you back?
I don't know. I've never tried. Like I don't reach out to him like that because I'm not that person who's like, yo, what do you know what I mean? And I will tell all of you right now, like I am not gonna be that person that will straight up just go to an artist and force another artist onto them. Yeah. Like you really got to do your work to get yourself
out. My shit.
You know, like yeah, like I mean, I will mention things if it's appropriate. If I'm being asked, like the other day, Calhoun was looking for videographers and stuff like that. I was bet lyric out. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to shove things down anybody's throat. That's annoying, and they get that often. So I've never done that to Tech. I've never just hit him up to hit him up either.
Top 5 favorite N9ne songs of all time.
Oh man.
Put the pressure on you. Make her think about it too.
I'm gonna play. It has to be number one because that's everybody's. Like that. That's what started me for N9ne.
So
I really
1 to 5. We're going 1 to 5.
Yeah, we'll go 1 to 5. I really like Levitation because that song was with me through like super low lows and super high highs. So it hits different listening to it in both of those moods.
Okay.
I like Ever Ready was really good. Like I like Midwest Choppers because you know what I mean it's Midwest Choppers. I like a lot.
It was always dope when they performed that shit too. When him and Callie did that shit stupid.
Yeah, and this spring would probably be my next one. That's always gonna be a big classic for me. Carabulu.
That's a solid list.
Yeah, that's a solid list. I feel like a lot of those are like duh, but it's like they were classics. They went, they got as big as they did for a reason. Even now, like Hood Go Crazy.
Oh yeah.
That song he's gonna play at every show. Because it gets people hype and you know.
I DJ at
I'd be mad if I go to a tech show he didn't do Hood Go Crazy.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Like I'd be upset. I'd be like, what happened? I got robbed.
I DJ at a bar called the Broken Spoke, and it's a majority of middle age and up people. That's one of the bar songs, Hood Go Crazy. I know if I play Hood Go Crazy, everybody in there's turning up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And everybody up in there is around 40 and up. You know what I'm saying?
Or the Carabulu too is a big one. Like when the campus kids, when I would be promoting at Ames, they'd be like, "Who's that for?" Like N9ne. Like, oh yeah, Carabulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's ask.
He's known by the track name.
Yeah. They're the younger generation, so they don't know that much about him yet.
The most memorable N9ne concert you attended and why?
Independent Powerhouse Tour easily. Like
where was that at and why?
It was in Omaha at Sokol, and like I said, it was because he had all those artists coming out with him, and they hit so many cities. They sold out, I think, every show. It was just the vibes. It felt good to be there. Every tech show is different. Even though if you've seen him a million times, every show is going to be different. But that show was good for me. Like nothing can top that.
Okay, let's keep it. We're in the groove. Let's keep it strange. Top 5 strange music artists of all time. You cannot mention N9ne.
Oh man.
Former, current, the whole. Everybody's available. Everybody's unlocked.
Okay, we're gonna go. Start with least to the.
Okay, 5 to 1.
All right, we'll do it that way. I'm a big Scoop fan.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I'm always gonna be a big Scoop fan. I love his
since the 10th grade, boy.
Like yeah, he's just got that music and exactly. See, music. That's what he'll tell you too. Is like music is my hobby.
Yeah.
Selling drugs. That's Scoop. But I really love Scoop. I'm a big fan of Prozac. I really like Prozac's, darker side of music, his own twist on things, and I love his voice.
I think I'm already surprised by the list, really.
Really?
Yeah, from you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go Jerry Robinson. I love him. I love just his vibe and like he brings that whole East Coast vibe to the Kansas City scene.
How do you feel about his latest album?
It's good, yeah. Drink Water.
Yeah.
It's a dope album. And see, that's what's great about that album is it shows how much he evolves.
Yeah.
Every album he puts out, he's got a different sound and different. He's constantly looking for ways to evolve, and I think he really did that with this album.
Shout out Jerry Robinson.
Yeah, I booked him in Fort Dodge one time. That was a blast. We booked him in an arcade, and we had go-karts, and everybody that I had buy meet and greets for that show, we were like, y'all, if you buy meet and greets, you can go karting with Jerry Robinson. So that was really dope. That was dope. Yeah, that was cool, and he's so much fun. Like he had a blast. So that was cool.
Some like cyberpunk ass shit right there.
Yeah,
Go-karts going shit with it.
It was cool.
Dope. That's dope.
But then Joey, the Swank Sinatra, Joey Cool, that's my dude. He is amazing. Again, I love his voice, love his lyrics, love his style, love how he can just be either classy this or like gangsta this. Like he has that switch to him. And I booked him a few times in Colorado, Sioux City. We always have a good time. He shows out for me.
I just opened up for him this year too for the first time. So
yeah,
I met
he's
him for
fun.
the first time too. He was dope. He was cool for sure.
He's great. And he's always evolving too. What I like about Joey is like he won't stay online and read shit about him. He don't care.
Yeah.
He's got things to do. That's what I love about him, and everybody should take a piece of that, I think.
I agree.
And then number one is JL. He's always gonna be my number one. Like he's my brother, he's my fam. He's who started me loving strange music. Was like he was just starting.
Yeah.
And hadn't even got a chain yet. And Joey was just like on stage with JL, and then JL got signed, and then they were like, well, Joey's good too. He's on his own, so I gotta watch all that happen, and that was cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a dope list. That's a dope list.
I mean, Ritz would definitely. It's hard not to put Ritz on that list, but
I'm surprised Callie ain't on that list.
And Chris Calico, but I can't say that I've listened to enough of Chris Calico to put him on that list.
There you go.
I do love his album Go. Like
that's his best album.
That
that might be one of the Strange Music's best albums, dog.
For real. Like I still No Nose. I play that song at least 5 times a month. So it's like that song for me is always gonna be my favorite Chris Calico song, and like gets me hyped when I'm on the way to shows and stuff. Like he's great. I just don't. I wish I would have listened to him more.
How tapped in are you with Earhouse Entertainment?
I follow them. I follow Crystal. I'm friends with everyone who helps with his street teams and does that. I'm sure that if I were, to ask, can I help with anything, it would probably I'd probably get a lot of people helping with getting me involved. But I'm not really tapped in with Earhouse. Okay. I got Stevie and me are really close. Stevie Stone and me are really close.
Ahdasee.
So he is somebody who's I can hit him up anytime, and he'll be like, I got you, and he'll call me or whatever. But I just asked him one day. I was like, yo, I wanna work for Ahdasee. I was like, can I help with booking? Can I be involved with your booking? And he's like, let me call you in a bit. And he called me and he's like, well, what do you what's your idea? What's your plan? What do you think you can bring to the table? And I just told him like my connections, my work ethic, my love for you and Ahdasee, He said, let's do it. So he put me on the booking and got me officially onto the Ahdasee team, and he sent me all of his paperwork and writers, and so that was cool. Like to be with Stevie, honestly, I don't know how Stevie, honestly, he's got to be on that list. I'm gonna have to knock somebody off because Stevie, man, that's kind of weird. That I feel like maybe
you hear this, Stevie?
No, that's kind of weird. Maybe I feel like he's like so on his own that maybe that's why I didn't even lump him in with still being, because he's taken off so well on his own. But yeah, he's definitely tied for first even, because like Stevie, I love all his music.
Yeah, he's a motherfucking dog.
Like and nobody can top like his voice either. He's got that voice and his stage presence. You got the little dances.
Oh, absolutely.
He gets people going, and him and Jeff James as a team are like, I love them.
So who's all on Ahdasee? How tapped in are you with Ahdasee? Is there a roster? Is there everything?
I know that
book for him and shit.
It's like Bacon, and I know he's on there from Omaha. Yeah, I know
Shout
he's
out
on
to General.
there. Yeah, I'm not super tapped in with the artists that he's added on there.
Okay.
I haven't really listened to him a whole lot. I've just been more focused on like Stevie and what he's been wanting to do with things lately, because I know he's wanting to do a lot of shows next year. He's on tour with Chris Webby right now, so I've been just, as soon as I got with Ahdasee, I felt like I should probably focus on that, but professionally, I should probably check out the rest of the roster. That's a fail on my end.
let's take it back to Korrupted Promotions for a second. Who were some of the artists affiliated with them? Did you have like a roster, paperwork and shit? Like, how did you do that?
So people do ask me that often. That's a good question. When they ask, will you sign me? Do you sign artists?
Right.
Do you actually have a team? And it's like, no, I've never signed an artist. The artists that I put on, I just call them Korrupted family. Like, they're my family. I've got them. If they need me to book me or them, they're my first priority.
Right.
So, and that would be, like I said, like Utah Swayze, Oni TK, Scar the Monster, Race Coakley,
Race Coakley.
GFG. Yeah. Anybody from GFG, KG Boog, J Breed, those are my, like, that's my Korrupted family. So, like, if they need anything, I got you, you know. Outside of that, it's, if you want me to book you, then it's just basically you're going to have to wait till I'm done with what I've got going on and I'll figure it out. Otherwise, if I've got open slots, hit me up because I'll tell anybody any kind of details I got going on. But, we don't do paperwork. I don't want to own people. I don't want to be that manager that wants a percentage or... I just think that sounds tacky. I don't feel like I'm big enough to be like, I'm a record label owner and I own these artists and it's just weird to me. Whereas, like, if Justin Strawstone were to do something like that, that would make sense to me. Because he's very solid.
Shout out Strawstone.
Yeah, shout out Strawstone for real. He works hard, like hard. Like if he were to be like, this is my roster, I'd be like, that makes sense. He travels, he can take these people out. You know, he's always promoting. He puts everything he has into music and podcasting. I just don't do that enough to call myself like an owner or a manager or whatever. But if you're with the Korrupted family and you are close with me, you're gonna get shows. Period. Like I get promoters all over the country. You know, like, hey, I've got a festival or I've got a show here. I've got, so I'm sending people, to festivals and stuff all the time.
Who were some of your influencers in the promoter game? I know you kind of said you just jumped into it where, like, who influenced you though? Like, who were you taking notes from or did you just...
Nobody. Okay. Yeah, that was the scariest part and that's why I think I was so shocked was because it's not like I was never even in the scene.
No doubt.
Like, I wasn't going to shows. I wasn't even seeing how it worked.
So
I didn't know anybody. Yeah, and I literally just started, and I think that's what frustrated people a lot was like, where did you even come from?
Right.
But it's like, I'm doing it well, so...
Right.
But yeah, I didn't even have one person to look up to, and then when I did get in the scene, the first people that I met that was throwing shows, was Justin Strawstone. Devin, I know, was doing some stuff. I still really don't know a whole lot.
So is it safe to say no promoter kind of took you under their wing and was like, no, let's kind of do it this way?
Nope. Yeah, I completely had to pave my own way.
Okay.
Book my own stuff, no hand-ups, none of that. No tips.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard you say you're doing it well. You do it well, and that is very true because you won Best Promoter in Iowa twice.
Yeah. So the first year I was like, okay, I feel this. I feel like I've paid my dues. My resume is pretty.
So what is the platform, first of all, that you won it on?
What do you mean?
Who gave you the award?
And
Iowa Music.
Yeah, the Iowa Music Awards.
First off, to hear more about that and all the way, you're gonna have to tune into episode 3.
Hello.